Hi, everyone. This is Shirley Solis with ShirleySolis.com, and I am super excited that you are joining me today because I have an amazing and powerful woman on the call with me, and I am interviewing Rothesia Stokes from SheHasPurpose.com. We connected through Twitter, and I tell you that when I visited her website, I was super impressed because she has a beautiful website, but more than anything, she has a radiant attitude about herself. She has a beautiful smile, and she has a beautiful calling to inspire women with a message. And so I invited her to do this interview because I wanted to find out more about her. I wanted her story to inspire you. And I know that she's got some amazing things to share. So with that, I want to welcome you. Thank you, Rothesia, for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel honored.
Oh, well, it's a privilege. Now, tell me a little bit about yourself and where you live, like what part of the country you're in.
Okay, I'm 32 years old. I was born and raised in Florida, where I still live now. I've been blogging for 2.5 years now, but before that, I've worked in the fields of social services, higher education. I'm single, no kids yet, but definitely plan on doing that one day.
Absolutely. And tell me, I know that I usually notice, at least it's true for me and many of the people that I interview, that our passion today came out of a struggle that we've experienced in some way. I don't know if that's true for you, but if it is, would you share why?
Absolutely. I definitely think that whenever somebody has a vision, a purpose in their life, it comes from struggle. I, for one, have struggled in my life as a woman, a career woman. I've been through my life where I hated my job and just didn't know what to do about it and just kind of felt stuck. So that's how She Has Purpose was birthed, so I could help other women who kind of dealt with the same things that I've dealt with.
So how old were you when you started with the stirring about looking for your purpose started?
Well, I've always been career minded. Even when I was a teenager, I always saw myself as a woman with a business suit on. I always admired women who were had awesome careers. But when I built my relationship with God, I kind of realized that my purpose was more tied to what He wanted me to do. And so as I grew and started seeking Him more, that's when everything started to come into play.
So what you're saying is that when a person, and it is probably true, I'm going to agree with you, that when a person gets closer to God, it's almost like we start getting more clarity on our vision, on
Absolutely,
what we're doing,
absolutely,
right?
and that could be totally different from what you had in mind. But I think as you grow in Christ and your relationship with Him, that He puts the desires in your heart, and that's how you come to the point where you're like, oh, I think that's really what I want to do, but it's really Him putting that vision into your heart.
Right, because I feel like God created us with a purpose. Like all of us have a purpose. You know, every single
Absolutely.
person has a purpose, and yet I know that at least for me, it wouldn't be easy to accomplish my purpose if I didn't have that solid foundation, that strong relationship with God, and to knowing, you know, because sometimes we need supernatural guidance. Actually,
Yes.
like a lot of the times we need supernatural guidance, and having that relationship with God is that compass that keeps us moving forward, right?
Absolutely. I agree. He's the reason that you continue to move forward with your vision, even when it becomes hard. Because without him, I don't think I would have kept going because it is hard.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, but that's where you draw your strength from, is from him.
Yeah. So tell me about, like, we're talking about how it's difficult to do business and how the purpose and the passion could be a challenge at times. And I know that you've started SheHasPurpose.com. How long have you been blogging? How long have you been sharing? And what is your main message through She Has Purpose?
Well, She Has Purpose is essentially a business and lifestyle blog for women, but the mission is to motivate and inspire career women to live their lives with purpose and reach their highest potential in business and in life. And what I do is provide the resources for them. I provide career advice, business resources, and also inspiration. I've been blogging for about 2.5 years now.
Yeah, and you also have contributor bloggers as well, right?
Yes, I've only had one so far, but when I first started, I knew that I didn't want She Has Purpose just to be one voice.
Okay.
I want many women to contribute, because there's women who've been through things that I haven't been through that I could learn from, and that the readers can also learn from.
You know, that makes so much sense, because to achieve our purpose, we can't achieve it alone. You know,
Exactly.
it's always, it may be our vision, but ultimately God puts together all of these other different people to help us get there. So
Yes.
I love that. I love it. Now, I love your approach on balancing life and business. What do you think is missing with career-minded women today that leads you to want to help them balance life and business?
Well, the thing that I feel is missing is what was missing in my life is just having a career that I didn't love. I think a lot of women they have careers, they're making good money, but they don't feel fulfilled in their career. And that's what I want to do. I want to help women who may have a career and they feel like they're stuck and they don't know where to go or how to get out. I want to provide them with the resources and the inspiration to actually move forward with the career that they're supposed to be in.
Yeah. And I mean, there is inspirational blog posts and practical blog posts in your website. So I definitely encourage people to go check those out, because I found a little bit of everything. Like like you said, career and lifestyle. So there was like tips on makeup and dressing well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was beauty tips and not many bloggers, especially business bloggers, share about beauty and fashion topics. So why
Right.
do you think it was important? Like, obviously you love the aspect of looking beautiful and incorporating that. So why do you think that's important to
I
career?
think it's important because I don't care what type of career woman you are, you're still a woman. And I know for
Yes,
me,
girl, I know that.
for me, I love my heels, I love makeup, and I just feel like if you look good, you feel good. And it's not, anything about external beauty, but it's just about being a woman and being fun. We can have great careers, but we still want to look nice. We still like to play in makeup. So it's just about being a woman.
Oh, I absolutely love that, because there are blogs that are just like, okay, this is what you do with Facebook, this is what you do with Twitter, this is what you do
Right.
with Pinterest, and it's like just as here I see that balance with you. I see that balance between reminding women that they are women and that they could do the makeup and the heels and so forth, but that they could also be fabulous in business. So I could see that balance. Now, just thinking about this, there was one blog post that I remember that I think you called it the number one way to discover your gifts. Do you remember that blog post?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was very inspirational. And I wanted you to share what inspired you, who or what inspired you to write it, and what is your main message in it?
Well, the funny thing about that blog post is that I actually had a dream that I was painting, and I'm not a painter. And, I have dreams sometimes, but I never really take everything at face value, everything that I dream about. But it had me thinking over the weeks. I'm like, why would I dream that I could paint and I'm not a painter? But the thought came to me, how do you know if you've never painted before?
Right.
And the thing about it is, like, we don't know what we're good at unless we try. I think when we're kids, when we're in school, we are made to take classes, to learn how to paint, to maybe take musical classes. But once we become older, we lose that. We go on with our careers. We never try anything new. But I think that there's many people with undiscovered gifts inside of them that they know nothing about. And
Mm.
that post just kind of made me, and I do plan on taking a painting class this year. Not saying that I can paint, but it just kind of made me think, how would I know if I don't try?
Oh, I love you. That's amazing. Because what's funny, when you said I'm not a painter, I wanted to interrupt you, and something inside of me was like, tell her, not yet. You may not be a painter yet, but you might be soon. And you definitely have all of the talents to become, I mean, you're a creator for sure, because your blog has, it's beautifully done. So you definitely have the talents of the artistic
Thank you.
characteristics in your life. And so maybe you haven't quite painted on murals or painted on canvas, but you've
Right,
definitely
right.
painted on my life, and you've painted on the life of the people that have come across you, because your life
Yeah,
inspires. You're like this paintbrush, this person that just goes around painting in people's lives and bringing more color to them. So I
thank
love
you.
that. I love that.
And there's
Now,
one more thing I wanted to
uh,
add to that, especially with parents. As far as with parents have kids in public disappearing. So I think it's important to discover their gifts, because right now a lot of them are not getting it in school. So I think if you involve your kids in more things, you can help them discover those gifts.
right. So the internet was cutting off a little bit. So what you're saying is that you are encouraging parents to to involve their children in multiple events, not events, but in multiple um, classes, so that they would find out what their gifting is. And I agree with you, because I've encouraged my children to do music, to do dance, to do languages, to travel, to take courses, like, because
Right.
exactly what you say, we can't just be limited to, like, this is the traditional thing. I just finished interviewing, in fact, a mom whose son he was diagnosed with autism when he was 2. And he started talking about wanting to be a chef when he was 8. And
Mhm.
she started a TV show, that an online TV program, where
Wow.
he's a chef. Like, he's just starts
Wow.
doing cookie shows, and it was to help them have these real life experiences. So I love that you're saying, you're making that advice, and that is true, not just for parents, but for us as well. Like
Absolutely.
like that message has to be true for us. We have to discover our gifts, and that
Mhm.
once you discover one gift, right, Rothesia, it's not about stopping there, but it's about continuing.
Definitely. Definitely.
Oh, well, and I know that your faith and your relationship with God are an important part of your life. How does building an intimacy with God help you accomplish your mission?
Well, it's definitely a big part of accomplishing the mission, because I feel like without that relationship, I wouldn't have a mission.
Mm,
And I'm not going to lie, I'm a woman who's driven and I want to be successful. But one thing about me is that I don't want to be successful without God, because none of it matters. And so when I'm intimate with Him, I can get through hard times. I put my trust in Him, and it just kind of makes this journey. Not saying it's makes it less easy, but it makes it more bearable when I do go through hard times.
wow, that's beautiful, and I second that. I think we mentioned it earlier, but I think a woman who is on her way of finding a purpose needs to have a relationship with God. Many people wouldn't say that
Definitely.
that's true, but I do feel like we
Hmm.
need that higher power. We need that strong foundation to
Right.
hold on to, and to reaffirm that what we're doing is right. Now, I know you're a very
Yes.
inspiring woman, Rothesia. Could you share a family story that inspires us?
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you a little,
Well,
or you have one already.
I don't have any a husband yet, but I'm praying about that, or kids. But I think my family in general is inspiring. My mom and her sisters, my aunts, they didn't have the best upbringing. They were raised by someone who took them in,
Mm.
because their mom, my grandmother, had substance abuse issues. But I tell you that they are the strongest women that I know, and they inspire me because what they went through, and none of them have any problems that their mom had. They were raising their kids, and I just get my inspiration from them also, because I feel like they've made it and they've come so far from where they grew up and the things that they went through, and they just inspire me in general.
And I thank you for sharing that, because that was kind of where I was leading into. I saw a post in where your mom had nominated you for an award.
Yes.
And I know that after every successful woman, there is a team of people that are raising her up. And I knew that your family, like everything that I do, everything that I promote and that I share about has to do with making that family strong. And you have
Right.
that strong support system in your family. Like you said, you're not married yet and you don't have children yet, but your support system, your family support system is still there. And
Right.
you're get your inspiration from your mom, from your aunts, from their family. And I
Mm-hmm.
could totally relate to that. And I thought that was beautiful. It was beautiful that she would nominate you, and it would be beautiful that you would share about that nomination because it talked about your relationship together.
Right.
So I love
Definitely.
that. So is there one thing that you'd like to tell our audience, like, this was it, like this was the, outside of everything that we've talked about, you have, let's say, 30 seconds to really make an impact. What would you say to them?
I would say if anybody is listening who's going through a rough time right now, to know that even though you're going through a rough time, it's just a rough time, and that um, it's a season in your life that you are going to get through. And the most important thing that you need to have at this time is to have faith. And faith is, believing something that you can't see right now. So I just feel like if you're going through something, continue to believe that it's going to get better, and everything changes. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. So just continue to hold on and keep the faith.
Thank you. You have inspired me. And, I strongly believe that words are more powerful because of who says those words.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel that when you were sharing. So thank you so much. You have definitely encouraged me. Now, how can the audience find you and stay connected with you?
Okay, they can definitely visit She Has Purpose for career advice, inspiration. They can also find me on social media, Facebook and Instagram at She Has Purpose, and also on Twitter at She Has Purpose 1.
Perfect. So there you have it, wonderful people. Rothesia Stokes with SheHasPurpose.com. And I want to thank you for joining me. You have been an inspiration to me. You have been you have definitely encouraged me to continue to pursue my faith and to live with purpose. You are a powerful woman, and I am so thankful to have had you on this interview. I thank you, and well,
Thank
God.
you, Shirley. Thank you.
All right.